Hi Fantasy Managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. In this FPL video, we'll be looking at a wildcard side for game week 3. Even if you're not intending to go wildcard for game week 3, I still think there'll be some players that you might be interested for the next coming fixtures. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, hit subscribe, and in the meantime, let's take a look. For those of us who have not used a wildcard or played at FPL before, a wildcard allows you to completely rechange your side. You've got unlimited transfers for 1 week, from which point you will then be stuck with that team and the normal transfer rules will apply. You'll get one each week. So your wildcard is your opportunity to change your side. We have this year slightly different rules or slightly different scenario than we would have in a normal calendar year. Football League would normally just go on throughout the seasons, we know, but we have a World Cup and that will truncate the season. In game week 16 on the 12th of November, game week 16, there'll be a last round of matches and then they'll start up again on Boxing Day, game week 17, and we will be allowed to choose again a whole new side for game week 17. So we have this wild card between now and the game week 17 to use. And there's just no perfect time to use it. No one can say it's going to be for the international break coming up, game week 8. No one can say that. It's entirely down to just the team you have and whether or not you think you want to make a host of transfers. I would say, and again, no rules, if you're going to make 4 or 5 transfers, you're talking about a 16, 20 point hit. Yeah, maybe it's worth just using your wildcard and then trying to dead end towards game 16 because you're going to get a new one anyway. And then, even better than that, we'll have a brand new side for game week 17. We will then get a wild card between game week 17 and the rest of the season. So no perfect time to use it. Since now in the start of the season, we've had, 2 game weeks at time of recording. There's still a few more games in game week 2, but we have a little bit more information. It is quite useful that a few 4.5s have turned up, a few 4.0s. We have a little bit more understanding about who's playing, the fixtures, which teams are performing, which teams to stay away. So a wildcard, no right or wrong time to use it. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to use mine in game week 3. I don't think it's right for my side. Whether it's right for your side is just something that you're going to have to think about. But some of these players are definitely players that I will be targeting going into the next few game weeks when I have 2 transfers to use. So let's take a look. Let's start off in goal then. I will say before we go through some of these, really difficult to pick a wildcard side. Some of the players I just wanted to get in are just unable because of budget, just because there wasn't a room. I had so many defenders I wanted to put in this side, I just can't pick them all. So you'll see there's a lot of concessions. We'll go through some other options at the end of the video, so bear in mind of those and stick around for those. In goal, first of all, I've gone for Air. I just think his fixtures look fantastic. I understand Mendy is a cheap way into that Chelsea defence. I absolutely get that. 4.5, I think, a save money, and those fixtures look great. Since he's got the clean sheets against Man United, I feel a little bit more confident that I can rely on that Brentford defence. And then alongside him, the cheapest playing goalkeeper, 4 million, Ward for Leicester. Decent fixture next week. Wouldn't mind going at home to Southampton and some other fixtures as well. But really, for a set and forget 4 million, cheapest I can get, he's playing. Always offer me as option. To just spend 8.5 and have 2 playing keepers, I think are pretty decent. Is a good start for your side. In defence, straight away, I'm going Zinchenko. It's possible if Tomiyasu starts getting into the game, then 4.5, he might be a good option at right back. But I definitely want a way into that Arsenal defence. Last season, his XGI playing in all sorts of positions for Man City was 0.25. It is a little bit more impressive this season, but he has got that 1 assist in only 2 games. Having said that, he only picked up 4 assists last season. So he's had a good start to his Arsenal career. And I do trust that Arsenal defence. They conceded 2 to Leicester, clean sheet before that. But I think they look a lot stronger than before. And as Arsenal fans seem to think, if he moves into midfield, he could be a really good option at 5.1. Next to him then, a cheap way into that Liverpool defence. As you'll see, I've not gone Robbo, I've not gone Trent. We will look at that option later on. But just bear with me, 6 million, cheap way into that Liverpool defence. See what we can do with the money elsewhere. I don't mind playing away at Man U. I'm absolutely happy to do that. Bournemouth, Newcastle and Wolves, 3 home fixtures next 5. John Matip playing every league game. Not offering a huge amount going forward. Nothing so far this season when game against Fulham. 0.15, 3 goals, 3 assists. Has a little bit of an attacking threat from set pieces. Other than that, I'm not getting a huge amount of attacking returns, but he is a cheap way into the second best defence in the league, so I quite like John Matip. Alongside him then, as a player I've got on my side currently, Kyle Walker. With the rumours about signing another fullback, possibly his place comes under threat, in which case do you move to Ake? But Walker, 5 million, he's played both games so far, not offering a lot going forward, even though he's pretty much playing as the central midfielder. Those fullbacks are so tucked in at times. Only picked up 2 assists last year. Kyle Walker, 5 million though, cheap way into the best defence in the league. I'm happy as long as he continues to play in that City defence. Patterson as a choice over Nico Williams. If you wanted to go Nico Williams for 4 million, enabler, who's going to play every week, absolutely fine. I get that. And I probably would say Nico Williams is more likely across the season to play more games than Patterson. But I do trust that Everton defence slightly more, I think, than I trust the Forest defence. Not offering a great deal going forward. Again, only made his debut this season. 4 million, I just think those fixtures, especially the next 3 fixtures, look good for Everton. And I think I just trust that Everton defence. That's all it is over that Forest one. If you want to go Nico Williams, I totally understand that. But for 4 million, good enabler, cheap option, who is playing to stick on your bench. Next one then, Matt Doherty, really just desperate for him to get a start so I can move him into my fantasy side. He'll be one of the first players to come in. Great fixtures coming up for Tottenham. His 15 odd appearances, he did really well. Got 0.53 in terms of his XGI. 2 goals, 4 assists in that time. That XGI is one of the best in the league. It's just over such a short period of time. Wouldn't expect him to keep that up. But if he does, wow, what an asset he could be. It's just a case of when he gets full fitness, when does he come into that Tottenham side? Have to keep an eye on that Chelsea game to see if he gets more minutes. But as soon as he comes in, I'm absolutely all over Doherty. I think he could be a great asset. And then we're sticking with Tottenham as well. Heung-min Son, again, fixtures at home to Wolves, Forest, 2 games to target. Then Fulham in 4 weeks' time as well. I think that's just too good to be true, really. I think we need to be on him. 0.73, got picked up a return in his only game this season so far, but 23 goals, 10 assists last year. Absolutely fantastic. And some great fixtures, and the Tottenham side has only got stronger. I just think Son has got to be a player we've got to start really considering to put in our side. Martinelli, I've had Saka in my side at the moment, and yes, I think I'm going to have to start considering moving to Martinelli. 2 goals in 2 games. Great fixtures for Arsenal. 6 million around his price point, and there isn't much that you can beat that. Last season, 0.58. This season, 0.72. Great return last year of 7 and 7, and he started off so well. 2 goals already. I will say the only thing is, he's not having many shots around the box. He's just been clinical with them. So can he keep up those sort of returns? But again, for 6 million, you're getting a player to score in both games. In an Arsenal side that's attacking and scoring goals, he's a really good option for 6 million. Really like him. Alongside him then, I'm going to go Phil Foden. He's getting minutes, rested at the weekend as well. Great fixtures, Man City. 0.68 so far last season, 0.71, really consistent, 9 goals, 6 assists, just getting better all the time. Now he's got Haaland up front as well. Surely he's just going to be even more potent. 1 goal, 1 assist with those fixtures. Foden in that midfield, 8 million. I think he could really be ready to explode. Alongside him, as I think 4.5 is a decent option. He's got some good fixtures coming up as well. Last season, his stats are based when he was at Lazio, 0.38. So this season, nowhere really near that at the moment, and he's yet to return. But at 4.5, don't mind him having on the bench, but he is a playing option, so I quite like him. And talking again of 4.5, De Silva, who's just been riddled with injuries over the last couple of years, so he just hasn't had a first team sort of run out. With those Brentford fixtures that we looked at with Raya, I think he could be really good. 4.5, again, he's a sort of player I could put on the bench and not worry too much about, but I know he's going to be playing as well. I wouldn't mind starting him with those fixtures. 2 goals already this season. He hasn't even had 2 sets of 90 minutes. I don't think he played 90 minutes in either game. And already he's had some really good stats. 4.5. Wouldn't say he's turned into a must-have at the moment, but he's one of the best enablers at the moment in the game. We've saved a lot of money across midfield and in defence, and no surprises where it's going to go. I think Núñez is always an option, but Jesus, with those stats, with those fixtures, the way he started the season, 1.37, only 2 games in, but wow, that's a brilliant XGI. 2 goals, 1 assist. He just looks on fire. You've got 3 Arsenal players in it. I don't mind it with those fixtures. Away at Bournemouth, at home to Fulham next. I don't think I'd want to go without Jesus for either of those. The next 2 seem pretty obvious as well. Erling Haaland, 11.6 before he goes up and again, his XGI at 1.15, really exciting. 2 goals, 1 assist. He just looks brilliant. And with the fixtures that we've looked at with Tottenham, I just think Kane has got to be an option. Wolves, Forest next 2, then at home to Fulham in 4 weeks on penalties. XGI not anywhere near it was last year. We'll have to see difficult game against Chelsea, but we know he's absolutely nailed. We know Tottenham look stronger than they did the previous seasons. I just think going without Kane, a proven striker with those fixtures, 2 of the next 4 games are going to be against newly promoted side and Wolves at home. Team wouldn't mind targeting. I think Kane's got to be in there. That strike force looks absolutely fantastic. I don't mind that defence either. I think lots of options throughout this side, all of them playing. I quite like it, but there are 1 or 2 players that we're missing in here, and I'm going to show you how we can put some of those likes of those players in a minute. Okay, let's have a look at some of those other options. And he is conspicuous by his absence. Salah, then, he has good fixtures. Liverpool do have some nice fixtures. It feels crazy to not talk about him and go without him. And I can absolutely understand if you wanted to bring him in. The problem with this side is I think you just have to make, because he's so expensive, you just have to make so many concessions to bring him in. To get him in this side, I've got to sacrifice Son, and to make the extra million, I've got to suddenly think, am I going to take Haaland out, Jesus out, Kane? There's not many other places I can start to downgrade. I could downgrade from a Foden possibly to a Grealish to 7 million. If I didn't want to do that, and in this example, I've taken Kane out. I've gone Kane down to Darwin, raise extra money, put Salah in. I do have some left over, so then I've upgraded a Matip to someone like a Robertson. That gets you a Robbo or Trent person in. But then suddenly, with those fixtures that look really nice, I haven't got enough Tottenham players in, I feel. So I've got Doherty in there at the moment. With Wolves and Forest and Fulham, I just feel like, yes, you do need those Tottenham players in there. But are you prepared to sacrifice Salah to do that? Other options are, there are other combinations. I mean, there's also no Chelsea players in there. I can absolutely go to a Zinchenko, to a Cucurella, it feels like, or downgrade a Foden. Like I said, to someone like a Grealish, and then suddenly move a Doherty or a Zinchenko up to a Reece James. That's a possibility. I can simply, rather than hedging me bets on Doherty and Kane, go to De Bruyne instead of Son. But then I do have to move a City player out, possibly go for Foden to Diaz. Then I've got my 2 Liverpool players on. Those are both options. I could go to Rodrigo. He's doing really well at Leeds, and their fixtures look pretty decent as well. Or to save money, I can suddenly go to Jensen, who's doing well for Brentford, and then I've got enough money to go up to Trent. Rather than going to De Bruyne, I can still stick with Son if I want, or go De Bruyne. Lots of different options there. I'm not saying these are the only ones, but this is just a possible wildcard option. What I don't like possibly is I'm struggling for Chelsea options. But again, instead of going to Doherty, you downgrade to Janssen. Suddenly you can go Trent to Robbo, release money. Maybe that way you can get to your Cucurella or possibly a Reece James. That's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, it's not too late to join the league. And let me know if you got any wildcard plans. Any of those players you considering bringing on your transfers. We'll be back with you later on in the week with a team review, see how we got on, look at the mini leagues, plus a watch list later on in the week, and on the team selection captaincy issues. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, good luck with the rest of your weekend. Take care. Speak to you soon.